Welcome to the next edition of A's Player Profile and Prediction. Once again, I'm your host, Joe Grado, and today we are talking about right-handed pitcher, number 28, Mitch Spence. So let me tell you a little bit about his baseball journey, where it began, and where he is today. So he was originally selected by the New York Yankees in the 10th round of the 2019 draft, made his way through their system, and his time in the Yankees minor leagues culminated with a full season during 2023 with the AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, where he made 29 starts, pitching to an 8-8 win-loss record with a 4.47 ERA, striking out 153 batters in 163 innings. On December 6th of 2023, the A's selected Mitch Spence with the first overall pick of that year's Rule 5 draft. He competed and ended up making the 2024 opening day rosters for the Athletics. And kicking off that year, he actually served in the bullpen as a reliever, and until he made his major league debut start on May 17th of that year, and ended up staying in the rotation for the remainder of the 2024 season. Spence pitched to an 8-10 win-loss record with a 4.58 ERA. He appeared in 35 games, making 24 starts, striking out 126 batters in 151 in the third innings, and had a 4.21 FIP. He did show on display his diverse arsenal and strong command, as he only ended up walking 44 batters and 151 in the third innings pitch. So that's very impressive, especially from a pitcher in his rookie year. Seems like he has command beyond his years. He did end up inducing the 10th most ground balls out of all pitchers who threw 150 innings or more during the 2024 season. And he definitely showed off that role flexibility. Coming out of spring training, he was called upon to come out of the bullpen, be a reliever, be sort of that innings eater. And starting in May throughout the rest of 2024, he found his way to the starting rotation. So definitely always beneficial for a club, for pitchers that can do more than just one thing. Obviously, there are guys that have specialties that take it to an elite level, but it's also good to be diverse. So whenever the team calls on you and has need, you can step up and answer the bell. So very good for definitely a very good showing for Mitch Spence in his first go around in the major leagues. So what can we expect from Mitch Spence in 2025? He's kind of in that similar situation where he was vying for a role, whether it would be out of the bullpen or in the starting rotation. I think it was pretty clear that he was going to make this roster. It was just a matter of what role he was going to serve the best for this club moving forward. And it certainly seemed that they value him being that innings eater, that swingman in the bullpen to at least start the year, as Joey Estes Jr. ended up winning the 5th and final rotation spot, kicking Mitch Spence to that journeyman role back into, or that swingman role back into the bullpen. But I do think that is very flexible. It's very valuable because I do think Spence will excel in that role. And there may be a need for him to be called back into the rotation, whether there's unfortunate injury or maybe there's some ineffectiveness. So whatever the case may be, he is definitely a valuable weapon to have in this pitching staff. So he does offer a 5-pitch mix. He relies mainly on his cutter, his slider. I know the slider, a lot of his effectiveness works around that. The cutter, he threw 39.6% of the time, and the slider, he threw 32.7%. The remaining of his arsenal is a sinker, which does induce a lot of those ground balls at a 14.5% rate. He throws his curveball at 12.1%, and the changeup he just showed exclusively. I think it was around a 1.1%, and this is all according to Baseball Savant. Expect a lot of ground balls when you're, and I know infielders probably love playing when Mitch Spence is on the mound because he did, like I said, induce the 10th most amount of ground balls out of every pitcher that threw more than 150 innings last year. So that is always going to keep your infielders engaged. They love action, and they're going to clean it up consistently pretty well behind you. He does offer, and that ground ball rate also was 48.4%, which was in the 81st percentile of all major league pitchers. So it didn't matter what number of innings you pitch, because there are relievers too that induce a lot of ground balls. So that's definitely an elite level that you want to be at. It's good to keep the ball on the ground, give your fielders a better chance if you're on the mound anyway. His average fastball velo is 91.9. That's what was registered according to Baseball Savant during the 2024 season. So he's not someone that's going to rely solely on stuff. He's someone that's going to rely on location, 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 as well as going off plane and not necessarily focusing on blowing away hitters. He is going to let his defense back him up, and he's going to let hitters get themselves out. And I do think he does a good job showing that cutter and slider on the same play, and it does have people or hitters end up having a pretty significant chase rate against them, 31.7%, which was the 82nd percentile according to, again, Baseball Savant. So I think he's someone that is, again, very valuable to this pitching staff. He has excellent command. He's not going to have high octane stuff to blow you away, but that cutter slider mix is definitely going to be effective, especially to right-handed hitters. The one trap that he will fall in is he will get hit kind of hard against left-handed hitters. And it's whenever that cutter and slider flatten out or have poor location, that's just a nightmare. And that's a left-handed hitter's dream going into that middle in sweet swing and left-handed swing. So definitely want to avoid that for Spence. And I'm sure that's part of what he worked on going into 2025 is working on better location, whether that's going further in under the hand so they don't get comfortable, or maybe working in some more backdoor effectiveness against left-handed hitters. Don't know what his plan will be, but we'll see what it looks like heading into the 2025 season. He also, speaking to that command, he did only have a 6.8% walk rate, which is, like I said, that's really something for a rookie pitcher, someone that's really just getting his feet wet at the big league level. You'd love to see him build on that. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of positive tape to build on to have a successful 2025. I wonder if that number can go down. I guess time will tell. And I guess it depends depends how he flourishes in each role. But I do imagine that you will see him getting some starts. You'll see him a lot out of the bullpen as well, especially at the start of the year. Love that versatility. That innings eater, that's going to save bullpens. That's going to save this bullpen, especially in the dog days of summer. If he's still, serving that role well, and, on a day where, and I do have a couple of examples. So, if a starter gets, wrapped around early and needs to, head to the showers early, you can bring in someone like a Spence that is serving his role in the bullpen, but has that starting pitcher experience. So if it's the second inning, maybe it gets you through the fifth, sixth, seventh inning instead of having to burn through arm after arm, which could kill you in a series, especially down the stretch if you're, in a postseason run, or just for overall pitching health too as well. You never want to burn your arms too early, or at any point you want to always be able to have that depth to give guys proper rest and make sure each guy is coming in as effective as possible. He is someone that I really do believe that you're going to see a lot on Jeffrey Spring days. So that's something if you want to make a note of. I can see, especially Spring, someone that he had elbow fatigue at the end of 2024. So maybe to make sure that they're not overtaxing, especially early. Could see Springs being sort of that 5 and fly guy, maybe 4 and get out of there, depending on the pitch count, effectiveness, labor, all of that stuff. I think they're going to keep a close eye on him, especially in the first half of the season. Don't want to, burn through him too quickly and, open him up to any possible re-injury. So on those days, you could see Spence step in and give him 2, 3, 4, maybe just finish the thing if he's really effective. That's really going to be a valuable weapon to save those back end of the bullpen arms to continuously have to rev that engine and keep having to do those reps over and over again. And eventually you do have that burnout. So I do think Mitch Spence is another one of those X factors on the pitching side of things that can really make or break this team's success, because pitching and defense, in my opinion, at the end of the day, still wins championships. If this pitching bullpen depth continues to serve along with the rotation that increased their depth in this offseason, I really do believe this team can go places. And I think Mitch Spence, not necessarily a household name, but is someone that's going to have a lot of reason and a lot of say as to why that is. So with that, we are going to project or go over his projections according to Fangraphs, what they're expecting for his 2025 season, and then we'll pick our over-under. So they project Spence to pitch to a 6-7 win-loss record with a 4.27 ERA, pitching 110 innings, 88 batters struck out, and they have him appearing in 51 games and starting 13. So our over-under for today will be his innings pitched, because like I had mentioned, he is considered an innings eater. That is really going to save the bullpen and rotation on days. I think he's going to serve a very important role. 110 innings. I'm going to take the over. Do think he will have a couple more starts in 13, and I could see a little uptick in having and Spence serving a lot more multi-inning roles. So I do believe that there is a strong possibility that he is going to be somewhere in the 130 inning pitched range. We'll see. Obviously, if he is in the bullpen longer, then it is going to be closer or maybe even below that 110 innings pitched. I just imagine that you're going to see him in the rotation. Like on paper, you want to say that you're always going to make it through a 162 game schedule with the 5 that you left spring training with. But that's just not the modern game. That's just not how it is anymore. Injuries are bound to happen. Maybe some unfortunate ineffectiveness too as well. So I think you're going to see Spence get his opportunity in the rotation, just a matter of how many. So I think that's a tricky one. I think that's one I'm not as confident in. I just think they're going to use him a lot in his versatility. And I do think he's going to be a big reason why this team has even more increased success than the last previous couple of years. So best of luck to Mitch Spence in 2025. Looking forward to seeing him continue to flourish and build upon his strong rookie campaign. I do think his role is going to be very important to this team. Just keep maintaining that health and looking forward to seeing him getting some big outs for the A's in 2025. So that's another edition of A's Player Profile and Prediction. We talked about Mitch Spence, who will be beginning the 2025 season in the bullpen, but you may see him starting some games throughout the year as we roll along here. Again, you can find all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and so many other platforms where you listen to your favorite podcast episodes. If you want to see the video edition of this and other video content that we have talking A's baseball, you can find us on our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast, along with our other social media platforms where you can see clips of our shows as well as other exciting A's content. Be sure to check out our Instagram at A's Day Baseball Podcast, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, our account there at A's Day Baseball. And please, please, please become an official subscriber on our Patreon site, patreon.com/A's Day. For just $2 a month, you'll be entered to win monthly A's Day t-shirts, future A's ticket giveaways, A's autographed memorabilia, and so much more as we grow this platform together. Thank you again for spending part of your day listening to the next guy we're talking about, Mitch Spence, today. Looking forward to talking about the next arm on our next edition. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Holy Toledo. We can almost taste that baseball. It is so back. Take care.